And so let's talk about what I mean by development desert. And I see this happen when organizations or the economy is starting to kind of pull this purse strings, the budget purse strings around doing things like promotions and paying for people to go to conferences or classes. And you're looking around and you're seeing possibly that they're doing reorganizations and people are losing their jobs. It can feel like this is just the wrong time to talk about development. And I would have to argue that it's actually the best time to talk about development. It doesn't have to be just about promotion and just about raises, though that's still important. But in that climate, especially if you're an individual trying to engage your manager, you want to be conscious of, okay, where's the money being spent? And people just lost their jobs. So I'm not going to going, but hey, where's my promotion? So unless you've got some sort of circumstance where that seems appropriate. But instead, what I like to do is think of this as, well, how do I use this as an opportunity to, one, get some really good on-the-job experience development, and then also help the department move into the future of whatever it needs to. So what I recommend is to have three things, is that one, you want to have a vision, you want to have a conversation, and you want to have a plan. And so the vision part of it is you've got to be looking at what would help the department. Where does the company need to go? And no matter what position you're in, no matter how close to the front line that you are, it's about you thinking about that bigger picture and letting your imagination come up with what the future could look like and starting to see how could you play a role in that. You've got to envision yourself playing a role in the future of the company, not just the current state. And then the second thing is making sure that you have dialogue with your manager. I find that most managers, unless there's, extreme situations or maybe some personality conflicts, most managers are actually excited to have a conversation that's focused around how you could help around the team and ideas that you have for the team. Especially if you genuinely looking at it from the perspective of not just what you can get out of it, but what the team can benefit from. And then talk about how you see that also helping your development and your engagement on the job. Because a lot of times after situations where maybe there's been some layoffs or some reorganizations or things that, especially people who are performing well, managers are worried about, how do I keep them engaged? I can't do the normal, the easy things of just assigning some money to it. I've got to figure out how to keep them engaged when things are stressful. So for you to come with these ideas and to share how it's actually going to help your growth and development, and that it's probably not as cost intensive as some of the traditional things that people think about, it's usually a plus and a relief for them. It also helps them think about how to do that for the rest of the team. So have dialogue, treat it like a creative collaboration. Look to see where there's opportunities to do things. And if one thing doesn't seem to work or doesn't align, try to engage in it as a discussion of possibilities. And then finally, make sure that there's a plan in place. You still want to put a development plan together and look at what is it that I ultimately want to be able to deliver? What can you deliver that you're not responsible for now that you can add to your area of experience? Instead of classes, who could you shadow? Who could, what meetings could you sit in? What conversations could you have? What online stuff that's free and available could you participate in? How can you learn from your manager or other people and maybe take on some of those responsibilities little by little, building your expertise and your capabilities? Notice that all of that, it definitely costs some time investment and maybe a little bit of risk that you're trying something that you won't be perfect at in the beginning, but it can set you up to stay engaged during these development desert times, which are actually not development deserts, they're development oases. Oases? I don't know what the plural is. Somebody correct me in this video, but oasi. Anyways, but it is a situation where I've probably got a lot of my deeper experiences and where you're really taking on new responsibilities and you're diving in, and then you're also get this experience of being able to help the team evolve and the company succeed. So it ends up being a win-win for everybody. Okay, so I looked it up. It's oases, in case anybody needed to know. Look at me developing myself, and it didn't cost anything. If you found this video helpful and would like further assistance with some of your development efforts, feel free to give us a call, email us, or follow us on social. We can help you with your development plans, whether that's coaching, training, or helping your organization develop a development culture. Looking forward to hearing from you.